common application of conversions is when you have to compare prices that have different units. So sometimes when you are comparing prices, you do have to apply conversion techniques. So let's look at an example. You need to purchase basil. At a grocery store, a container of basil costs $2.50 for a two-thirds ounce container. So for the grocery store, it's $2.50 per 2/3 ounces. And ounces is abbreviated OZ. At the farmer's market, a bunch of basil costs $12 per pound. So what we need to do is we either need to get the cost per 1 ounce or the cost per pound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this to cost per pound. So that we have them in the same unit and it's easier to compare them. Okay. So what we are going to do is we're going to take our $2.50 per 2/3 ounce, and we're going to use the conversion that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So again, ounces is OZ, pound is LB, and we are dealing with American currency and weights. So what I'm going to do is, because I want to get rid of the ounces, I'm going to put the 16 ounces on the top and the pound on the bottom. And then that way my ounces cancel out and we're left with cost per pound as our units. So when you are plugging this into your calculator, I'm assuming that most of you guys are going to be using calculators since you're doing 250 times 16 divided by 2/3. You do need to remember that in order to do things in order, that you do have to put any fractions in a denominator in parentheses, because otherwise your calculator will divide from left to right and it will do the 250 divided by 2 and then take that answer divided by 3. We want to force this 2 divided by 3 first, because remember that dividing by a fraction is really the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. So if you are using a cell phone calculator, you're going to multiply across the top. So I would take 250 and then I'm going to multiply that by 16, and then I can divide it by, in parentheses, 2 divided by 3. This forces this division first and make sure that it does it correctly. If you have a calculator that automatically puts it as a fraction, you can put it in a calculator where you would do the 250 times 16 over 2 divided by 3, and it will make sure that it does the correct order of operations. So you really need to know your calculator. So when you're plugging this in to your calculator, like I said, I had already done the calculations. So when I multiply this out, this does end up being $60 per pound. And the reason for that, remember, is that we're doing 250 times 16, and then multiplying it by 3/2. So that's why this is so expensive. So if you're using the grocery store, if you were to buy a pound of this, it is going to cost $60 per pound. So we can see that after doing the conversions, that the $12 per pound at the farmer's market is the better deal. Okay. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. If there are additional topics that you want me to cover, please let me know that as well.